Hi guys, and welcome to this short video on building your critical file. My name is Cormac, and I'm one of the module leaders within the CA program of Chartered Accountants Australia New Zealand. I will also be later joined today by another module leader, Robin LeGroux. Okay, so what will we cover today? Specifically, we will cover exactly what a critical file is, how best to build your file, and the most effective way to use it. So what is a critical file? A common problem amongst candidates when undertaking exams is not having enough time in the exam room. A well-prepared and structured critical file is therefore essential for success. Especially in your first module, you will feel somewhat of a guinea pig when building your file, so it's important to experiment to determine what works best for you. Remember, it's an open book exam with no set structure. Your CSG is always your starting point, but it should be supplemented by your textbook or your standards book, and this should be tabbed to assist you with time management. Okay, so how should you actually build your critical file? Your critical file should be designed to save you time, so as the name suggests, it needs only the critical pieces of information within it. As mentioned, your CSG is always your starting point. There may be specific flowcharts and tables within your CSG that you may find useful, as well as mind maps. Activities and worked examples help with the application of knowledge, so you might want to include these also. And if you're doing the CS Study Masterclass, the various study aids and slides may also be useful. Indexes and cross-references can also be an efficient way of structuring your file. Summaries of content are always useful, but keep them as summaries, perhaps limiting these to about 1 or 2 pages a unit. As mentioned, it needs to work for you, so include things that only you struggle with. Learn from your mistakes as you go, and create prompts to help you avoid repetition of mistakes. Topic area maps that map to learning outcomes can also be a useful tool. It's also very beneficial to share the load, helping each other out and sharing ideas. Remember, it's not a competition, but should be collaboration among candidates. And whilst the critical file is important, it's also important to not neglect your actual studies and covering the content in the first instance. So guys, thanks for listening to me, and now I will hand over to my colleague Robin to continue with the presentation.
Thanks for that, Cormac. Now I'm going to take you through how to use the critical file that you've been building. It's really important to be practicing with that critical file as you're going through attempting activities and worked examples, online assessments, and in that important lead up to the exam, because you really need to work out whether it's working for you. So this might mean that you need to adjust materials, maybe if they're out of order or if you find that things are missing. So really, it's really wise to practice from it. And your critical file should only include material that you've worked through, because you can't on the day of the exam be looking at new information. You just won't have enough time for that. So for some candidates, we find that there can be a tendency to rely a bit too much on their critical file and perhaps copy and paste effectively answers by just copying something down in your exam script book. What we really need to see you do is to adapt your answer based on the new facts that are provided in a question. So in this way, your critical exam file should be acting as a support mechanism. So this process of practicing will mean that you'll continue to refine your critical file. And really, for a lot of us, the critical file isn't finalised until the day before the exam. So looking at how your critical file can create success in your module. It's just one piece of the puzzle. And as Cormac mentioned, it's important to be making regular study time. So working through your suggested module plan for the unit to keep up to date with your studies. and your module leaders will be providing you with some specific advice for your module on how to apply good exam technique. So 3 pieces to the puzzle, and your critical file is part of that. Good luck with your module.